team around and was able to destroy Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. Maybe I'm foreshadowing there by saying Philly. I see my boy Jelly's in the chat over here talking trash. I don't blame him. I know a lot of my Philly folks are going to be giving me hell this week, so I'm looking forward to it. But truth be told, here's one of those things where Jordan Love, third year starter. Maybe we need to start putting more weight on him because I understand the floor as who he is. He tries to find a way to make everything based off the run, but it does get to a certain point where you have to start letting Jordan shoulder the load. It's kind of like, when it came to like my boy Samwise Gamgee and Lord of the Rings, man. What do you say? He says, share the load. Hey, let me share the load, right? Well, guess what? We gotta let Jordan share the load and do his part as the QB1 of the Packers right here. So without any further ado, let me get my boy Trey up in here so we can see how he's doing, how everything's going. What the hell going on here? Why is it not working? I'm telling you guys, Restream has been messing with me today. I don't know what is going on right now. It is. Oh, there we go. I got it now. I feel like a damn old-ass millennial trying to work this damn thing going on. How's it going, man? How you doing?
Doing good. Badgers are on right now. Badgers doing good. I'm late as usual. So yeah, I mean, we're same as usual.
Hey, I'm always late to your show. It kind of works out, right?
That's true. That's true. We just make it work.
Yes, sir, man. So how's it going? Everything else going good? How you enjoying your Friday evening?
Oh goodness, enjoying the Friday evening. I hate leaves. I do. I love the fall colors. Hate picking them up. I just hate picking them up. I spent all day. I had like a 5-hour expenditure today picking up leaves, and then I mowed the lawn in the dark. Well, no, it wasn't in the dark. I took my Temu light that I bought like 2 years ago, and I stuck it on the front of my lawnmower to be my headlights because my headlights are broken on the lawnmower. So I'm an electrician, so I jerry rigged that thing on there.
Of course you did.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was nice. It was hilarious because one of my sponsors is in my backyard. One of my sponsors, the winery, is in my backyard here on my show.
In your backyard?
And well, not in my backyard, but like my backyard is facing the front of their business. And like that light was so bright, I could see them all in there staring at me mowing the lawn. They don't know that it's me. I don't know if they're like going to be watching this in the future and be like, oh, now we know where he lives. But like it was like right at each other. Like, yeah. So they're like, who is this jackwagon over there mowing, like blinding us right now? It's me the whole time.
Hey, you got to get your work done, man. No matter what it takes. Trust me. I've been out there in the yard at 8 o'clock at night with a freaking flashlight trying to cut that damn grass, man. So trust me, I feel your pain, bro.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man. That's what it is. I got a couple of my folks up in here making fun of me saying share the load, pause. All right, you know what, Jelly? All right, that's a good one. I ain't gonna lie. I actually saw a gift of it, and it was Frodo, like him saying to Frodo, it was after Frodo got stabbed by the spider and he got all that like stuff in his mouth. And this man with Jelly said this and it just jacked me up, man. But no joke. I think that so I was to talk about the Carolina game, how it was just a debacle in every way, which way possible. And honestly, just kind of going over the different things about the game and then basically kind of feeling like when it comes to now where Jordan Love is in his development as a starting quarterback, third year in, we should be expecting more from him. And question here that we have from one of our folks is, you think Matt LaFleur is shielding Love? And me personally, I feel like it looks like that, but I definitely think it's one of those things where he refuses, being the coach, refuses to break his tendencies. He does not want to stop running the ball. He wants to make everything off the run. And he has a very hard time breaking his own brain of like, if I see too high shell, I have to run the ball, and not just letting the defense give him take what the defense gives and letting Jordan just cook a little bit by people are killing us right now with 1,000 paper cuts down the field. Maybe we got to do the same thing. And this week against Vic Fangio's defense, which is a too high shell zone defense, we're not going to see no different than what we just saw last week against Carolina. But what do you think? What are you feeling about that?
No, I agree. And, defenses right now are just playing soft zones on the Packers because they're daring the Packers to throw it deep, which for some reason they're still trying. That's Jordan. Jordan Love is notorious for trying just to whip it down there. And sometimes we all say why, and then it gets caught. And last week we saw the why, and this is why not. So this is why you don't do it. I don't think Matt LaFleur's shielding Jordan Love, but I think Matt LaFleur's biggest problem is he doesn't want to be Dan Campbell. He doesn't want to risk things with the ability of being embarrassed.
Conservative. Yeah.
Yes, he doesn't want to be embarrassed. He would rather lose a game because lose it by 3. He'd rather lose it by 3 than go crazy, try to make something happen, and lose a game by 14. He would rather have that. He'd rather not try to force things and turnovers happen, whatever. He'd rather have that. So I think that's where Matt LaFleur and his play calling. Yes, I think he does need to stop not shielding Jordan Love as much as just letting Jordan Love shoulder some of the offense. Let him shoulder it. I think the run game definitely needs to be more. It needs to be better. It needs to be more involved. You need Josh Jacobs to do something. I mean, right now he's averaging 3 yards a carry. That's not gonna
3.8, like nothing.
Yeah, that ain't gonna crack it. You will not have a consistent offense.
Yeah, he's like 5 or 6 yards last year, and you're 100% right. It's Coach said it yesterday in the presser. He said that you have to earn the right to throw the ball deep, and he was saying not to say like, oh, Jordan shouldn't. He agreed like, hey, sometimes you got to take some shots because you got to be able to know that you take your shots at the right time, and you just need to take the gimmies. And I completely agree. That soft zone is what everyone is doing against us. And if you're not able to run on that, and if you're not able to make easy completions, just work your way down the field, you're going to have this. You're going to have a disjointed, inconsistent offense, which is what we have right now. And we saw that against Cleveland, and now we're seeing that against Carolina, and now Monday night against a team that is stacked on defense, I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles have Howie Roseman. I got to give him all the props in the world because he treats this like fantasy football. He treats it like Madden. He wheels and deals. He trades like a maniac. And what he does is he finds a way just to keep getting talent on his team.
Yep.
And that is the most frustrating thing about the whole thing is where like you see that, and we did some moves too, but we're not consistently making moves. And so now here we are Monday night. We're going to go up against a team that's that Super Bowl champs, and hey, they could do it again. And one last thing that you said that I completely agree. He'd rather get a tie than on 4th down with 1 second left on the clock, try to go for the end zone and score a touchdown like he did against Dallas.
Yep.
Kick the tie, get the tie, right? Instead, he could have tried one more play. He could have tried it, and then we would have won the game. Now we wouldn't be talking about a tie. We would be talking, or we would have been having an L, and then who knows what the rankings would be, right? But that conservative play calling, the all gas, no break is gone, and we need it back.
Yeah. No, I would agree. You want the happy medium. You don't want him to go crazy like – I don't know if I'd want a Dan Campbell at times.
No, not that extreme. No.
You don't want extreme, but you also want him to go outside of the box a little bit, be a little different, right? We talked about it. It was, was it a week, 2 weeks? Who the heck did he win? He went for that 4th down finally. It was like a 4th and 2, and he went for it, and he ended up flipping it out to Kraft on the sideline. Was that Cardinals? Was that Cardinals game?
Yes.
Yeah, that was that Cardinals game where he played a little bit more aggressive. And that's what we're talking about right now is the aggressiveness where we want to see him trust Jordan Love, trust this offense that they can do it. But like we're saying, you can't open it up unless if you get some kind of run game going. You can't because they're playing a soft shell defense on you right now. And when you run the ball, they have the ability right now where you run so much out of shotgun. And we talked about this the other day, but I mean, it still drives me nuts.
Shoot that to the moon, man.
I went back and I watched the all 22. And the amount of times I had to watch shotgun plays, I just shut it off. I was like, I just have to stop.
I'm done.
I can't even do this. When you run out of shotgun, the defense, the middle linebackers, the linebacker core, whoever, they get to stare straight ahead. They can see everything that's happening. It's all happening right in front of their eyes. When you have Jordan Love go underneath the center, turn his back to the defense, now it changes it. It changes the perspective. It changes the vision of these guys. They have to, if I bite this way, okay, now you have your linebacker shift and they're going to bite to Josh Jacobs. Oh, Love took off the other way. Oh, no. Now there's nobody on the backside. Oh, now Luke Musgrave slipped out for a screen. That's the things that you can do when you run under center, when you run that play action set where you have the ability to go to different levels than where you get the respect of defenses back. Right now, when you're just in shotgun, it's straight ahead. It's just straight ahead. Their guys versus your guys. And right now, their guys are winning because there's no misdirection. The only misdirection that we have right now, for some reason, Matt LaFleur felt like in the Panthers game, we had to go sideline to sideline.
We couldn't win.
We couldn't win straight up. What that tells me right there is that he doesn't believe that he has the big guys. He doesn't believe he has the dogs to be able to go straight ahead. He thinks he has the speed to go side to side. I don't know what he saw that made him think that, but it's those issues with the play calling that we keep coming back to every single week is, okay, if it's not working, Why did you
Why do
say
you
that?
keep doing it? It's the definition of insanity. 100%.
Right, 100%. I agree. And it's just that you're going to continue to have these problems until he decides to. And it's the inconsistency. And I know somebody said something about Matt LaFleur in the hot seat. I could completely see it. I could, because what did Ed Policy say when he walked in the door? He said, "I won't have a lame duck coach." Well, if he does not see it, if he keeps to see this inconsistency year after year from Matt
He's gonna
LaFleur, which
cut
is what
loose,
we've
man.
seen, it's a
Yeah,
week by week thing right now. I mean,
absolutely.
honestly, you look at it this week, they could go beat the Eagles and then they could lose to the Giants. They could
Yeah.
just go lose some stupid game out there. I mean, you look at we could
And
go
they've
look at
done
the
that.
schedule here. They just lose these trap games,
They
which
lose trash
it
games.
irritated me the most. And I'm going to end it on here. It irritated me the most that they had a trap game already. They lost to the Browns. That was their trap game. I thought that was the trap game. And they would learn. They'd be like, okay, because we talked about it right after. We said Rasheed Walker went into that. He's like, we could go undefeated this year, everything like that. Matt LaFleur's like, we got to stop with that talk. Right, and I told you that going into the Panthers game because we talked about it. Is it a trap game? And I said, no, it's not a trap game, because I said, I think Matt LaFleur is going to have his guys ready to go because they felt this before, that they've gone into a game and he went after Rasheed Walker after the game. I don't think they can have another trap game. I lied. I lied. There it was. But that was because, once again, and this is where I'm right there with this Mac Mayhem, this is where I can see it, ill-prepared. They seem ill-prepared a lot. They seem like they have no fire. And it seems like you have to prepare. This is the National Football League. It's not like you can just cakewalk teams. You can't. Week by week, you have to prepare like it's the Super Bowl. You have to prepare. Yeah. You honestly, this is what I'm going to say. I know I said I didn't on the other thing, but
yeah, I was gonna say you're going on.
I'm just tangenting right now. When you watch these teams, you actually, if you think about it, you have to prepare harder for a lesser team than you do for a good team, because it is easier to get your guys up for the Eagles than it is to get your guys up for the Panthers, because they believe deep down in themselves that the Panthers, well, there's the Panthers, they stink. The Eagles, spotlight, Monday Night Football, it's going to be like, oh, you don't have to tell those guys. You don't have to instill it in their brains that they need to get up for this game. But the Panther game on a Sunday, 12 o'clock, Lambeau, they're just walking in there. They're like, we got this. We're the better team. We got this. That's where my problem is. Matt LaFleur does not prepare his guys, but it's not that he doesn't have them ready to go on game day. I don't believe he has them ready to go the week of. I don't believe that the practices, he's instilling it in their heads that, like, hey, we have to prepare for this game even harder than we got to prepare for the next.
I think that they do take a little bit after the coach. We've seen this time and time again. When it was like we went to a London game, he was complete against the London game. They came out flat. They couldn't finish the game. Rodgers gets hurt. Time and time again, the team is going to follow the lead of the leader, right? And if he is not having the same exuberance and having the same energy that he needs every single week, so he keeps talking about going 1-0 every week. He keeps talking about people doing the 111th. Well, he needs to do his 111th because he's not. Because as a coach, you need not only be able to motivate, but you also have to be able to game plan and understand that if something isn't working, you have to kick it to the curb and keep it moving. We saw it time and time again where they were like, you know what? No matter what, we're running on first down. He kept trying to do the same thing over and over and over again. It's like, bro, it's the definition of insanity. We've seen time and time again when it comes to his coaching staff where they make decisions that just do not make any sense. Where if you knew that your offense was not able to run the ball, start throwing the ball. I understand they're playing soft zone. I understand that they're kind of your offensive line, again, has been very, very inconsistent. We've been noticing that. Aaron Banks has yet to finish a full game. And we've paid this guy as to be one of the highest paid guards in the league. We have another corner who's now already hurt, is probably going to miss 2 weeks. But when he's out there, he's looked like a deer in headlights, just lost his hell. And we keep seeing the inconsistencies and the unpreparedness over. Like you just said that perfectly, where we keep seeing it. And it's like last year, the bad teams we would beat, and then we couldn't beat the competitors. And then this year, so far, yeah, the two competitors that we probably did beat were Detroit and Commanders, but now the Commanders completely imploded. But even before that, when we played them, they were at full strength. It just seems like there's a lot of inconsistencies, and the problem is that this isn't the first time. And we can say the team is young, this and that, but my thing is that it gets to a point where, like, all right, if the youth's an issue, bring in veterans. Oh, Goody doesn't want to do that. He wants to cut people after year 30. He wants to treat this like college. Hey, that's fine, but then you're going to have to deal with all these inconsistencies that keep happening over and over again. I mean, you can see out there, like, there was a couple things that occurred. A, he goes from 4th and 8 when he could just kick the field goal. That's what we're talking about, being more aggressive. But you don't want him to be aggressive there. That's a Dan Campbell move. Dan would do that. He would go from 4th and 8 when he's in the red zone, when he should have taken the points, right?
Yep.
And on top of that, too, you could see the frustration on Jordan before that play because they ran out. Nobody was lined up correctly. And he was pissed. They pointed, telling people where to go. He had to call a timeout. They ran another play. That was where he literally runs like 85 yards all over the field just to throw it to freaking Dante Jackson, who drops the damn ball, which is insane to me. And again, you watch this and you're just thinking to yourself, like, what am I watching right now? Is this 2023 week 1 through 5 of Jordan Love? And I don't want to blame Jordan because he's not the one that's calling the plays. But again, he's also making some bad decisions too. Even though his numbers overall minus their interceptions were not bad, he had over 70% completion percentage, things like that. It's just one of those things where we got to start playing our better football now. It's November. This is the time to do it. If you're not going to do it now, I'm not saying you pack it up and you call it a day. Pack it up is the name of my fantasy football team, which is funny. But like straight up, it's just one of those things where it gets to a point for you to say, all right, when are you going to say, screw it? I'm going to break all my tendencies and I'm just going to find out what works. Because he used to do this week to week to week. His first couple of years, he game planned for that team. He didn't just like come out there with his plan. And like what you just said about the shotgun, it's like Mike McCarthy. Oh, we're going to run shotgun. We're going to have 5 wide out. And then we're going to, you beat your man, you do it. If you don't, you don't. It's like, wait, like, hold on, bro. Like, what are we doing? Like, we brought you in to get away from this kind of stuff. He even said that last year. Well, the guy's got to win on one-on-ones. I have not heard the floor ever say that. That's a McCarthyism. And I'm just telling you, we're at a point now where I still have, so everyone's talking about confidence in LaFleur. I still have confidence in LaFleur, but as we talked on your show, I feel like he's a great play designer, but maybe he does need to give up the play call to someone else who could take his designs and know how to implement them. But then again, just go out there, play I formation, play single back, and just run the ball and play simple and just get the job done.
He has a hard enough time trying to be the head coach of his football team. Being a play caller in between there, that's because it's like when he gets his team up, his play calling stinks. When he can't get his team up, his play calling stinks. I don't know. He goes through his phases, right? And you go back to what 2023 when Jordan Love was in his first season there, and you look at that second half of the year.
Yes.
Those play calls, that play calling that he did there was when I said, wow, Matt LaFleur is a darn good play caller.
Yep.
Because there were plays where you would see Tucker Kraft or somebody running just wide open by himself. Like nobody in the area code. And it's like, and then you went back and you watched and you were like, wow, like this all happened to set that up. Yep. And it was a great play call, which
formations were the same, but different plays. Everything.
It just seems like this team just gets farther away from that. Absolutely. And I don't know why. It's the same cast of characters. Actually, you should be getting better.
Offensive line should be better, not worse. I mean, what are we doing right now, dude?
And everybody's going to say, and this is the excuse that we keep hearing every year, but I hate it, is this team is young.
I hate that.
I hate it because if this is the problem,
get some vets.
Get some guys out of here, right? Don't keep letting the old guys go just because they're getting old and we can draft young. No, because then your problem just starts over again. You continuously have this problem. So at the end of the day, maybe you do got to get some veterans in the room there and allow it to go. You get rid of the guys who are problems, right? Exactly. Jair, he was being a problem towards the end. He was never out there. It was inconsistent. So you said, okay, he's got to walk. That's fine, but let him go. There's guys where in those cases where it's fine to let him go. Some of these other veteran pieces, though, maybe somebody to anchor the defense or stuff like that. Those are the guys that maybe you want to keep in that room. Maybe somebody on the offensive line. You have a very young offensive line. Well, I shouldn't say very young. Elton Jenkins just decided not to show up.
30 now? We talked about this. Is he 30?
He's 30, I think he's 30. I think he's the oldest one. But either way, I mean, he just chose not to show up for the entirety of training camp because he just thought, I can just, transition to center. It'll be fine. He hasn't fully even transitioned to being a good center yet. So I don't know what he thinks he's going to get paid here in the future because it looks like he's trending the opposite direction. Zach Tom's been banged up. Aaron Banks has been banged up. We could go through everybody. They've all been banged up.
Everyone's been banged up. No one's been
And
consistent.
then Jordan Morgan, you can't allow him to actually figure out a spot because he's constantly cycling. You put him at the left side now. He's at the right side now. It's like, okay, well, why don't we just try him at center next? Let's just see what he can do.
Seriously,
there.
At this point,
they just cycle him around like it's just his job. And I get you want versatility, and that's something that Gutekunst said. He's like, I have 5 guys where I can rotate them. Okay, great. Yeah. But I don't want versatility if I don't have to have it. Let this guy as a young player just figure out how to sit one spot and then do it. Then let's transition him. Yes. No, I agree.
He doesn't have the play strength to be a guard. People say that, like I heard Eric Branchek say that his best position is guard. I'm like, he can't be a guard. Those guards are freaking maulers. They got great bases. They have great foundation. He's not built that way. He's athletic as hell. He needs to be a tackle. He needs to be a left tackle. It is one of those things where right now I'm at a point where I take Aaron Banks, I put him at right guard, I put Jenkins at left guard, I put Jacob Monk as center, and then I go Rasheed Walker and Tom, and we just run it. And I'm done. I'm absolutely done with the Sean Ryan rotation. No more. Like, this is the thing that kills me with some of the decision making that this coaching staff does. It's almost like they think every game's a preseason game.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, oh, hey, I'm going to put in Nate Hobbs at slot, and we're going to switch out Hobbs and Bullard for run plays, and pass plays. And when the offense figures that out, they just do the opposite of what you think they're going to do. Then we're over here figuring out what guard we want to play. We want to figure out what left guard or right guard. I'm like, can we just, like, when you have a starter, you have a freaking starter. It's not a starter in waiting. We're not trying to make everyone a freaking, like, Swiss Army knife. I mean, I'm sorry, if that's the case, okay, put Zach Tom at center then.
Yeah,
you're paying him $88 million, right? Just put him at center because everyone says he can be an all-pro center. I'm at a point where just do it. Screw it. And then we'll figure out the right tackle. We'll put Belton out there, or we'll put Kennard out there. It is the inconsistencies. And again, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Luke Butkus, he's the op. He's op. I don't care what anybody says. He's an op. He is there for the Bears. He is there to mess us up from the inside. He's a Trojan horse. That is what I feel. Truly, that's what I feel. But one thing I did want, we talked about Carolina, and the last thing we'll talk about Carolina, I want to ask you about this too. Special teams. You have a kicker who's working through something. On his right leg, quad, his kicking leg, he's working through something. But you put him out there, and you still trot him out there, and he's the reason why we've lost the last 3 games. We'd be 8-0 right now if we had a kicker who can make an extra point, not get blocked, and have it return for 2 points. In a Cleveland game, make a field goal. And in this game, make a field goal. Hell, make 2 field goals. So my question is, we just saw the Raiders fire their special teams coach. I really thought that was us. I was really happy for a second. I thought it'd be kind of crazy in the middle of the week. That didn't make any sense, but I got kind of hyped. At what point do we start saying that Rich Bisaccia is making these decisions about trotting out McManus instead of bringing in Lucas? And we decide that maybe he is the true terrorist that we need to get rid of, like we did Joe Barry.
Can I go further and to say it's the whole coaching staff that has that problem?
I can see it.
Because defensively, there's no reason why there's a rotation between Carrington Valentine and Nate Hobbs. Because if you look at the 2 when they've played this season, Valentine hasn't been great. Like, I don't want to sit here and say like he's been the greatest thing in the world, but he's been good enough and has proven to be better than Nate Hobbs. So there should not be this rotation, which is exactly what you're saying. Until McManus feels like he's 100%, and maybe Nate Hobbs hasn't felt like he's 100%. So maybe that is partially part of what's going on with him and his problems and everything between. He's hurt again, so that's what we see. But until he is feeling 100%, why take him out there? You just watch this. I can't. What the heck's his name? I can't remember his name. How to pronounce his name? Harvasic. Yeah, however you pronounce his name.
I keep going Lucas. I can say the first name.
Lucas. Let's just go
Ravasic. Then the H is silent.
That sounds right. The H is silent, doesn't it? Ravasic. That sounds right. That sounds right. I like that. Either way, you have this backup kicker who just set the franchise record for the longest field goal. Yep. You know this guy can kick. You know he can kick. Just let him do it. What's it going to hurt? I know you paid Brandon McManus all this money. I know Brandon McManus seems like a gamer, and when he feels like he's ready, he's going to want to go. Yeah. But if he's not ready, he's not ready. There's no reason to rush it. If you have 2 kickers on the roster, for some reason we're fielding 2 kickers on a roster.
That's another thing that doesn't make any
sense. If you have 2 kickers on a roster, you might as well utilize the one who's healthy, like completely healthy, not like iffy, not like we have to wait until game time to figure out if he's ready to go. One who's ready to go the days prior. That's what I'm saying. So like you have this problem where it's not just even Bisaccia. It's halfway in the defense, but it starts at the top. The inconsistency starts, and this is where I'm saying I like Matt LaFleur. I'm not saying fire Matt LaFleur. I'm not saying that at all in this statement right now. But I'm saying the inconsistency of this Packers team for years starts at the top. It starts right there. Because Matt LaFleur is
Goody. What do you think, him or Goody, though?
I don't think it's Goody. I don't. I do question Goody
I don't
sometimes.
know, bro. I'm not trying to absolve LaFleur, but you get what I'm saying? Like, some of the decision making is, we're going to keep trying out Nate Hobbs, even though he's playing terrible. We paid him all this money, right?
That's one of those things where you could see that coming from up above, where they're like,
right?
hey,
it's in McManus. We just paid him all this money. We're not going to bring in Lucas because we paid him all this money. It's like,
we don't want to bite. We don't want to bite it.
Yeah, bro, this isn't a business. This is a win-loss. That's what determines your success, right?
I don't know if it's as much of a worry for them anymore, though. If they didn't get Micah Parsons, then I believe they have to play Nate Hobbs and Aaron Banks and those guys, because otherwise the offseason looks like a bust.
What are you doing? Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
But they got Micah Parsons, so that took 4 different bad signings and just washed them out the door.
Yeah,
when they got Micah Parsons.
It did those 2 signings.
Yes, it's like you just completely forget about them. I don't know if it's as much as that as they love the versatility and the switching of guys and the rotation of players. They love for some reason to do that, so they can get see guys get reps and all that kind of stuff. Right. So yes, it does maybe start with Gutekunst, but it's also Matt LaFleur. If Matt LaFleur,
absolutely,
this is where you need your head coach. This is where you have head coach and GM problems, right? Yeah. Let's look at the Browns with Stefanski and that GM over there. One of them wants Dylan Gabriel to start.
Who the hell's the GM?
Is it Haskins?
No, I can't remember. Haslam is the owner. Oh, God.
Yeah, he's one of the owners. I can't remember. Either way,
Andrew Berry.
Yes, there you go. He wants to see Shedeur, and Stefanski wants nothing to do with Shedeur, and he wants Dylan Gabriel. So they play Dylan Gabriel because that's what Stefanski wants, right? But either way, it's one of those where LaFleur, if he wants to, contain his reputation as a head coach, he also needs to do what he thinks is right too. He can't just take sometimes it's easier said than done to not take what the top's saying there, but he needs to be able to do that because he is the head coach. And if Gutekunst isn't allowing that, then that's also a big problem there. That can't be happening too to have a successful team. So where I'm at though is I can't go further because otherwise there's a lot more problems than what we think. So I'm staying there with LaFleur and saying it starts there with the inconsistency on the field and it works its way down, because Goody's not in that locker room. He's not in that locker room before games. He's not there at halftime, as far as I know.
You don't know he is.
I don't know. I don't know if he is.
Bro, I'm just saying.
I'm pretty sure he's not. Goody seems like more of a defined guy. He's staying up top. Maybe he's calling down on the telephone or something, telling him off.
Prime example. 2019. No, what was it? 2018. What was the year that McCarthy got fired? 2018, right? It was after the Niners game where we went to overtime. Oh no, was it overtime? Right before overtime, we won the last second, right? And everyone's all hype and happy we won. Gutekunst is in the locker room and he is completely unhappy. He is stoic as hell. And that was the first time that you see Gutekunst in the locker room. They just won the game, and he's not very happy about the way they won the game. So I don't know. Like you're saying, he could be there, he could not be there. But one of my little nephews over here is asking me about what I think about Brian Goop-de-goo trade deadline. And so he's basically talking. It's a little inside joke of ours. But basically, I feel like they made a lot of calls, and after they gave up 2 first-round picks, unless they were going to get somebody for a bargain like Michael Mayer or Njoku, maybe get Evan Neal, maybe another offensive lineman, another corner, they weren't going to do it. I think they have all their eggs in the basket of trying to get Asante Samuel Jr. He was in here yesterday for a a visit. And we have Derek Ansley, who's his former defensive back coach and defensive coordinator when he was with the Chargers. So we have a good shot of getting him. But this is his first payday, so I wanted to see who's going to pay on the money after he just had neck fusion. So I think Gutekunst didn't make any moves, wasn't expecting him to, and that's the life as a Packer fan. We don't make crazy moves like the Cowboys and the freaking Colts do midseason. That's just not how we roll. So we're just going to pick up some free agents and some freaking practice squad players and run and go. So again, he did bring in Micah, so that's our free agent acquisition probably for the next 3 years.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, The only thing that I would have really been looking a backup, maybe offensive lineman, but otherwise a corner. I'd look secondary help.
Corner, 100%.
And the Micah Parsons deal feels a lot better now that Sauce Gardner, when he got traded, they got 2 first rounds out of that. So I feel a lot better out of that now.
Look at the other one.
If they get Asante, that's going to be right. Yeah. If they get Asante, that'll be huge. That'll be huge for that secondary.
I agree.
But I mean, I know they were talking with a lot of tight ends. Honestly, I think we need to put the zipper, we need to zip that one up and call it Luke Musgrave was all that and everything before Tucker Kraft. We were so hyped about Luke Musgrave.
Injuries, dude. Injuries what made him
Kraft was supposed to be the forgotten dude. He was supposed to be the 3rd round pick. Or what was he? He was a 3rd and
third round pick, right? He's the one that broke the curse, basically. Yeah.
So, I mean, we were sitting here okay, this is our guy. Luke Musgrave is going to be the guy. And then, I mean, Tucker Kraft. It's hard to replace Tucker Kraft. What he does is, I mean, unreal. But Luke Musgrave, I really believe can be just as good. I mean, in route running, he's great. He's a very good. Is he going to be this is going to be the difference? I think you're going to see it in run blocking. I think they're going to have to become up big there. But it's going to be the yards after catch.
Absolutely.
That's the big thing, that if Luke Musgrave can contribute in that facet, I think you're not going to it's not an eye for an eye then or anything like that. But if he can contribute there, because you look at the Steelers game and what Tucker Kraft was able to do in that
beast.
Yes. And that's where, if you can get Luke Musgrave kind of there, and I think now you look at the injury report, people forget, you're getting a guy like Dontavian Wicks back. This guy's explosive.
This
guy's very explosive when you get him back in there. He's a big guy, very explosive, but he's a great run blocker. Yeah. Everybody forgets that about Wicks.
Him and Watson,
one of their better. Him and Watson are very unselfish players. 2 of the best run blocking wide receivers. Probably.
What they say? No block, no rock.
Exactly. So you got that guy coming back, plus Jaden Reed. I don't know, who knows with Jaden Reed. It's sometime in November, I thought.
Thanksgiving.
Yes, sometime in November there. So I mean, you get a guy like Reed back, you're gonna have an explosive playmaker again. They have weapons. Do they have the weapon of Tucker Kraft? No. Is that gonna take some stock down? Yes, it's gonna take some stock down. Yes. But this is where we're going to find out how good they really are and how good Matt LaFleur really is. Because when you lose a star, yes, it should take your team from 100 to 88, but does it take you from a Super Bowl contender out, right? Because the Lions last season, they lost Aiden Hutchinson, and I still believe that the Lions were a really good football team. And they had they were bringing in, how many random, defensive linemen did they bring in?
They brought in, every single free agent.
And they were all good.
Yeah.
They were all good. When they stepped in that door, they found a way to work it. Yeah. And that's where I'm at with this Packers team is, okay, Tucker Kraft's out. What do we do now?
Yeah.
It can't be let's roll over and die. It's got to be, what do we do now? What does Matt LaFleur do in that locker room now to get his guys up for this game against the Eagles? Because we know that Tucker Kraft will be pumped up for this. How do you get the guys pumped up for this?
Yeah.
That's my question to Matt LaFleur is, what do you do in that locker room to get these guys up? It should be hard. They know this is a spotlight game. How do I get this team to go 0 to 100? Because the emotions of everything coming up that last game, you sucked, you lost. Tucker Kraft,
you got some pissed off.
I mean, you got to be pissed. You got to come into this game fired up, and it's in Lambeau. You have to come jacked up right around
Monday night with snow. Come on, dog. Say less, dude.
It is Lambeau under the lights. That's all you should have to say.
That's
the Packers against the Eagles, a playoff preview of they beat you twice. Jordan Love said it in his interview today.
Revenge game.
They got beat twice last year. Not just once in the regular season, but to end the season. Just start the season to end the season, they lost to the Eagles. That has got to leave that bitter taste.
And think about that first game ruined his season, basically. If it wasn't for Jalen Carter taking that semi-cheap shot to his knee, semi-cheap, not cheap, whatever you want to call it, who knows what kind of season he would have had, because he was dealing with injuries all damn year, right? And so I'm 100% with you. This is the time where it's all right, you either put up or you shut up, right? And you have to come prepared. You have to understand you're going to have the home crowd behind you. Let's hope to God the Gold Package does not sell their tickets to visiting fans, and we have way too much Kelly Green in the stadiums. I'm going to lose my freaking mind if I see this. And when I saw that for that Honolulu Blue that one year, last year when we saw it with Detroit, that just killed me inside. But I'm with you, bro. It's one of those things where we need now to see what LaFleur is made up of, because you can't come out on the podium and be like, I don't give a shit about Halloween. I'm over here trying to win a football game, and that's what you come out with. That's just absolutely unacceptable. And
maybe he should have cared about Halloween.
Yeah, maybe you should have. Maybe you should have been out there. It had some extra candy or something. I don't know. It is funny too. Like now, when you lose games like that, people are like, they're like, "Yo, this man is too concerned about looking good and getting haircuts every week than actually coaching games." I'm like, okay, here we go. I was like, now everything's getting thrown onto the table. But the truth of the matter is too, like, end of the day, you have a good football team, a good young football team. You have a good coaching staff. You need to just start playing with the team that you have. And Musgrave is not Tucker Kraft, but Musgrave was Musgrave before Tucker Kraft came on the scene. I mean, you have a 6'5" tight end who's 250 pounds, who runs a 4.5, who basically was considered to be a breakout player coming out of Oregon State, but he could never stay healthy there. And even though he'd been banged up with us, the times he was banged up, he had a lacerated kidney where he was peeing blood, and he was still in the game. He still played 5 plays after lacerating his kidney. And I'm just saying, like, he's not built like Tucker in the sense that he's a little more leaner, but he's a tough son of a gun. And on top of that, too, his athletic skill set is nasty. Like, I'm sorry, like, again, maybe they should come do, like, the extra offensive lineman. Bring what was the old school? What's my man from back in the day? The Barry 71. Remember the Barry 71 back in the day?
Oh yeah.
Guess what? Look, Anthony Belton's 71, and he got a B for last name too. So why don't we just bring it back? Let's go. Because if you want to make it, at the end of the day, I'm really against us trying to ram the ball down someone's throat. Pause when it comes to Jacobs. But the truth of the matter is, if you're going to do that, then get in heavy personnel and say you're going to run the ball and just do it. Because you hit it on the nail. This sideline to sideline. Let's do bubble screens. Let's do all this wire screens. All this. I'm over it. I'm done. I'm over it. Like, stop trying to be like Kyle Shanahan, bro. Because the difference between you and Kyle Shanahan is when he calls those plays, he calls them at the right exact time. Yep. He knows exactly when someone's going to blitz, and that's exactly when he calls it. We call it when these Bama's aren't even blitzing. Yep. And we look like a bunch of idiots out there. So, end of the day, we have Wicks coming back from injury. We do. Unfortunately, Lucas Van Ness is still on the pine. I know Jaden Reed is on the field. He's practicing. He's catching balls with the jug machine. And looks like Aaron Banks is fine too. So hopefully our offensive line will be healthy for this game. Micah Parsons did leave the game with a pec injury, but he's been practicing all week in full. So we have, that's something to monitor, but hopefully it's not an issue. And you hit it on the nail. You hit it on the nail on the head, bro. Revenge game. Jordan supposedly told Terrence Parsons, who is Micah Parsons' brother, they went to dinner after the game. He said he's the first quarterback he's seen who paid dinner for everybody and smile about it. And he said that he's already locked in on the Eagles because it's a revenge game for him. So we're going to have to wait and see if that's the truth, bro.
And you got the offseason drama with the tush push and the Packers being
that's the one, dude.
Against it. I expect to see the tush push at least 10 times. 10. I expect it. At least 10. There's got to be an over-under. Okay, here we go. Okay.
Here we go.
Over-under 7.5 tush pushes
against
the Packers. You're taking the over?
Over.
You're taking the over. Okay. I think they might do it just to spite. I really
think it's the first play of the game. It's the first play of the game, bro.
I hope so.
Right off the bat.
I really do.
Look, bro. All I know is that Micah even said it. He was kind of like, we have to keep him out of 3rd and 3. I was like, no, you need to keep him out of 3rd and 5. Because
they'll run at 3rd and 5.
They're going to run on 35 and get 3 yards, and they're going to try to do it again, right?
Yeah.
My thing is, like, you have to find a way to keep them in long distances the whole game. You have to have your best defensive performance. Like, you have to do what the Rams did to them in the playoffs and what we did for the most part last year in the playoffs too. You just cannot let them get positive yardage to the point to where it's 3rd and short or it's 4th and short. Because guess what? Even Carolina did it to us. And they don't even do a tush push. They just have Barry Sanders, a.k.a. Rico Dowell, back there just running all over us with literally people like you and me playing offensive line, dude.
Well, and the hardest part, and this is the hardest part with the Green Bay Packers, right? Well, I shouldn't say the hardest part, but the problem is that they fall behind or that they're tied in games, right? They're around with these teams. So a Bryce Young-led Carolina Panthers was able to just lean on Rico Dowell to just keep running the football, right? And then even a team like the Browns could just simplify the game down where they could play a rock fight. They could play a dog fight, right? And that's the kind of games that the Packers allow themselves to get into. right? If you said, "Oh my goodness, let's have a shootout between Jordan Love and Bryce Young," I would take my chance.
I would take Jordan Love all day. Yeah, 100%.
And the offense for the Packers, I'd take my chances. Yeah. But you allow these teams to stick around, and that's what we saw. So now Rico Dowdle late in the game, the Packers are like, we don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to throw or are they going to run it? So now they're in this flux. They don't know what they're waiting for back there, right? They don't know. Halfley's confused. You got the defense confused. There's just it's those kinds of situations where you could simplify it if you are the Pack, like teams are doing against the Packers, because they know what Green Bay wants to do. And that's the problem. I watching the all 22. I think it also, I know I don't want to yell about Jordan Love here too much, but I was watching some of his decision making. I saw there was a play. I believe it was Emmanuel Wilson slipped out to the right there. Yeah. And you had guys wide open on the left side there. And he didn't even, there was no like process to the left side. It was just
the first read
right there. And that was one Emmanuel Wilson ended up bobbling forwards, everything like that. I know exactly. But Tucker Kraft ran a curl route. He ran just a hook. It was like a 5-yard hook. He was standing there on the first down marker. Didn't even look at him. There's nobody around him, but didn't even look in his direction. Just tried to dump it right away. And I think that too is the patience, right? Trust your offensive line.
That's it though. That part right there. I don't think he trusts them. I think seeing like when Banks went out, but even before then, they were literally losing their one-on-ones. Like they weren't even blitzing that much, and when they were blitzing, bro, how many times did we see the linebacker literally run right past Jenkins?
Yeah.
Right down the freaking leg, dog.
Jenkins got beat up. He got beat up.
It was Derek Brown is literally probably one of the top 5 best defensive tackles of the league. I'm not taking anything away from that guy's game. But there's no way that guy should have been dominating your line that bad. If that's the case, what do you think is going to be coming into town with Philly? Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, Jalen Phillips. I mean, do I got to keep going? There's so many freaking weapons on that defense. And that's just the line. Yeah. Jod Campbell, Zach Bond, and freaking Nakobe Dean. That's the linebackers. Dude, I haven't even touched the freaking. We have Jair. My man, when you talk about Jair, Jair's ready to go. He's in the healthiest he's ever been. Conveniently, he's so healthy before the game against the Packers. I love how that works.
Love it.
Right? And now he's going to come to, and now their secondary, who's no slouches. I'm telling you, from top to bottom, that defense is stacked. And
I hope they match up Golden on him because we don't throw him the football anyway. So Josh,
and when you do, hits him in the hands, and he drops it. I don't even care. It was triple coverage. It hit him in the hands, and he dropped it, bro.
Right
down the line. Remember, right down the seam. I'm like,
right. No, I think in a game like this, especially against a team like the Eagles, like you were talking about earlier, it's got to be a game where you're going to death by 1,000 paper cuts, right? Yes. Slowly work the ball, but that's where when you do these little dump passes, when you drop it off to guys, slant routes, whatever you want to do, just the short stuff, you're gonna bring that defense up. Then they're gonna press. Okay, now you got the burners, right? You have Golden, you have Watson, Wicks has got a little bit of speed to him. Okay, now I use the burners, but now you're gonna gain the respect of that defense to now where you can open up the middle of the field. So now Josh Jacobs can find running lanes. So now you don't have these linebackers just crashing down immediately right there. So, I mean, you're going to open up different things when you run that style. Right now, they're playing so relaxed in the secondary. They don't need the help from the front. So now the front is basically just becoming straight bull rush, just straight ahead. And the offensive line is getting beat up with it. So now we're seeing it's just issue after issue, but it's all resulting, coming back to play calling and coming back to the inconsistency of the play calling with this sideline to sideline stuff that we've been seeing out of the Green Bay Packers here. I'm okay with seeing some of that stuff. Like, I don't want to completely abandon the wide receiver screen just because the Packers do have some very good blocking wide receivers where I believe you can utilize them in that wide receiver screen. But when you run it consistently, it's just going to get blown up. And it's going to continuously get blown up. So that's where I guess I'm at, is that I want to see them continue with the play calling that he has, but they have to allow for the simple stuff. Yeah. They have to just utilize the simple stuff. Take what's there. Sometimes you just have to take what's there. Take what's there. Don't try to force things.
Take the gimmies, bro.
Like I was just talking there with the Kraft. It's such a simple thing where it was just a little curl route. Just
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's just right there. I mean, there wasn't anything crazy. It's just right there. Just dump it to him. First down, done. Just move the sticks at times. So it doesn't need to be over. It's third. What was that third down that forced the 4th and 8? What was it, like 3rd and 3? It was like 3rd and 3, and they ran that screen play out. Was it Savion out there? He ended up getting blown up.
And then
it's 3rd and 3. Why are you running something like a screenplay on a third and
just throw
3?
a slant or run the ball.
You're in the red zone. Yes, you're in the red zone. Just run the ball up the middle because you can realistically say in this territory, I can trust Josh Jacobs can at least get me
3 yards.
Yeah, at least 3, but he can get me at least 1 to 2 falling down.
Yeah, and then guess what? You QB sneak it.
Yes, go for it. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, play for the downs, right? If it's 3rd and 3, I don't need a screenplay because I need 3 yards. Just go straight ahead. Go get me 3 yards, Josh Jacobs. This is what we pay you for. This is what we brought you in for. So I guess that's where it's like, it's over complication, over finesse on the play calling when it's just it's not a simple game, but it is. It really is a simple game at the end of the day. And Matt LaFleur loves to make it like, man, we got to make this crazy today, boys. Like, it's like watching one of those
offenses. The hell out of it for no reason.
We're going to see a play, I guarantee it, where it's going to be like one of those where the offensive linemen all start out spread wide to the right and the left. And then like Jordan Love will motion them in, and then they'll all come inside. And then it'll be, guys floating around. And then it's going to be one of those. He's just going to get like wild with it. And that's what we're going to
see. The fake punt by the Carolina, by the
fake punt.
Yeah. Yes. No, it's funny too, because like I remember back in the day, Aaron Rodgers was like, mentoring Blake Bortles, and he says, don't feel like you need to try to get 6 points with every throw, right? Yep. He goes, just understand that sometimes you can just work your way down the field and eventually get it. And sometimes I think Rodgers forgot about that too, because he was always taking deep shots his last year in 2022, right? But when it comes to Jordan, sometimes I feel like when the offense isn't working, nothing's working right, everything's all jacked up, he's like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to give my guy a chance to try to get the ball. That interception that he threw when he was throwing to Watson, I really do feel like the wind carried it, because where Watson was and where the ball was, I mean, there's no way Jordan was that far off, because he's rarely that far off, right? But he definitely was trying to he had a pre-snap read. He said, I'm going to throw it to Watson no matter what. And it's like, he normally doesn't make those mistakes. He hasn't made those kinds of mistakes since his first start against Kansas City and then his first couple games in 2023, where what you just said about the fact that he would see guys get open and just make the right decision. The thing about him, we never had to worry about him. He might make an interception here or there where you're like, smacking your head like, why? But for the most part, his decision making is pretty good. I just, like you said, even Dan Orlovsky said it, and I think JT O'Sullivan said it too. His eyes was not downfield. His eyes were at the line. He was concerned about the blitz. He was concerned about the pressure. But, bro, we've been going for an hour now. So you got any final thoughts you want to close it out with?
I did just see that Eric Stokes is ranked 27th out of 107 cornerbacks, according to PFF.
Oh, yeah, he looks good over there. He needed a change of scenery. I don't think he's going to do that in Green Bay. But he needed, and he looked good yesterday night, too. He looked good.
Yeah, I mean, so that's good for him. Good for him. I was just kind of trying to look around.
You should have traded for him.
should have traded for him back. That's what I was thinking. Brought him back. I'm like, hey, now that they fixed you out there. Final thoughts. Let's see. For this game against the Eagles, you gotta see the offensive line pick it up here. We gotta see the offensive line find a way to control that front. Win in the trenches, both sides of the football. You gotta win in the trenches. You gotta win in the middle, especially. Keep Saquon Barkley inside. You gotta. It's gonna come down to, can those linebackers, and this is where Quay Walker. This is where we're gonna find out, because Quay Walker right now, the book's out on him. Run right at him. He's either going to blow you up or you're going to blow right past him. And odds are you're going past him. Like, it's less than a 50-50 shot at this point here. So you're going to see a lot of that kind of action. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of Isaiah McDuffie. I would not be surprised, because I just don't feel – I love Quay Walker. I think he's got a ton. I've always said he's got a ton of upside, but the problem is his run-stopping ability stinks, and he can't get off a block. This year he's been a lot better getting off blocks. He's been a lot better getting off blocks. It's just still that run game. It just seems like he blows past the play. So it's going to come down to, what can this linebacker core do? The secondary for Green Bay just kind of slowing down what you can, right? Slowing down. This is an Eagles team where they're going to move the ball. It's just a matter of, it cannot be a break defense. It's got to be a bend but don't break at times defense there. Like you said, keep yourself out of the 3rd and shorts, because the 3rd and shorts will end up as 4th and shorts, and then we're going to see the tush push a million times. I'm right there with that. Offensive line, like I said, got to get Josh Jacobs going in this game. If you don't get Josh Jacobs going in this game, you're cooked. It'll be over.
Yep.
It'll be over before it starts. Josh Jacobs has to get going. Jalen Hurts is a fantastic quarterback. They have fantastic weapons out there. But what makes it all go is Saquon Barkley can run like Saquon Barkley does.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have the threat of a running back like that going off on you every single play, the passing game becomes that much easier. The play calling, the weight comes off of the quarterback's shoulder. Yep. The offensive line actually has an easier job because those guys don't know if they're in pass rush or if they're supposed to be in run stopping mode. They have no idea. So, I mean, it just keeps the defenses on their toes. Right now, you're not keeping them on their toes. That's something in this game here. The Packers have to get the run game going. I'm not saying like, run. I'm not saying like get crazy with it, but involve Josh Jacobs in a different way. But that's going to be involved in going underneath the center, running the play action a little bit, getting him involved in different ways. Maybe it's in a little bit of a dump pass for a screen play, whatever it is. I mean, I'm okay with a little run back screen off a play action pass. Like, I'm good with that. Get him out there, floating out there, see what he can do, right? You can get other people involved on that same kind of play design there. So I'm in with all those kinds of things, not sideline to sideline. As Eagles defense is quick, they're going to be able to blow up the sideline to sideline because they know what they want to do.
Their speed is what makes them what they are. Yeah, 100%.
Yes, 100%. So this is a game that's going to come down to Matt LaFleur getting his guys up for this game. The play calling it's got to be better in this one here, but it's going to fall on the shoulders of the offensive line, opening up some holes and getting some push in there, and the defensive line controlling that. The trenches will win this game. If the Packers come out of this and we say they lost in the trenches, they lost this game. I almost put it all on there, unless if the Eagles turned it over 14 times. I'd put all my money on it, that the trenches will be what wins this game for the Eagles or wins this game for the Green Bay Packers.
Okay, I like it. I was going to say, I feel like this is the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles are the Carolina Panthers on steroids. They are exactly built exact same. They have they have a good defense. They have an amazing run game. They have a quarterback. Their quarterback is not as good as Jalen Hurts, but they still have a quarterback that, can still get the job done, which he did. And unfortunately, Jalen Hurts, you know what? That offense is it's kind of like ours. They're kind of disjointed, but they have talent everywhere. And their offensive line is 100 times better than what Carolina's was. So I really feel like we're going to have to be able to almost play the same game Carolina did with us on offense. Keep the ball, keep Philadelphia off the field, run the ball, eat the clock, try to force turnovers. We did that against week one in Brazil. We got multiple turnovers against the Eagles, hence why we were in that game up until the very end. We have to force the issue on them because as good as this team is, as good as them being the actual Super Bowl champs, they are not what they were last year. And you have to keep remembering that. They've lost some pretty crazy games. They have been very inconsistent, just like us, and we need to take advantage of that because they're going to look at us as a trap game. They're going to look at us as a team that just lost to Carolina, and they think they're going to just destroy us easily, right? And again, on special teams, we cannot have mistakes. We can't have missed field goals. We can't have fumbles on the kickoff. We can't have holding penalties. And Daniel Whelan needs to keep doing what he's doing. He's like the only bright spot of our whole special teams right now, him and Lucas Harvisick. Because even though Harvisick is not playing, he was a bright spot against Arizona. So for me, it's going to be one of those things where, because you already hit on the running game, you already hit on the offensive line, I think this is the game where you, as good as that secondary is, you let Jordan Love cook. And what I mean by that is give him the right place, push the ball downfield, because we, like you said, side to side, it's not going to work. You have so many weapons, and you have a Stallion in Watson, a Stallion in Musgrave. You have another Stallion in Wicks. Golden may or may not play because he practiced yesterday limited, and today he was a DNP. So we'll see if he practices tomorrow, and if he gets another practice in, I want to say Saturday. Yeah, I think so. No, it's tomorrow, and then they don't practice Sunday, then they play Monday. So be interesting to see if he actually does practice tomorrow. But we need to, if Jacobs is 100% healthy, I want to see it on the field. Because right now, these last few weeks, we haven't seen that. He's an Arizona game, he came in and made some good plays, but you can just tell he's a little labored, hoping that calf is right, and I'm hoping that he can kind of hit the ground like he did. Because even though we were losing that playoff game last year, he was the bright spot of that game. He literally put the team on his back, ran for 20 yards, got to the goal line, and then punched it himself. Even though in that game was like completely lost. We lost all receivers. Offensive line was crap. And guess what? He didn't care. He still willed himself to try to put us in at least in a one-score game. So I need McManus to get back on track. If he doesn't, I need him gone. I don't need this anymore. I just need a special teams. I just need the whole special teams minus Whelan to be completely redone. And that means Orzer, that means McManus, that means Rich Bisaccia. Rich Bisaccia is my new Joe Barry. It is what it is. And I am at a point now where I'll get to watch stress-free football on Sunday. Red Zone will be on from 1 o'clock until 8 o'clock. I can't wait for that. And I really hope to God that YouTube and ESPN figure out what they're going to do, because if not, I'm going to have to watch the game on like FanDuel or something. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out.
I gave up. I went and I got Hulu.
You did Hulu? I was moving to Hulu. Yeah.
Well, the problem is that they're all owned by the same freaking people.
It doesn't matter.
Anyways, so it doesn't even matter. Like I could be like, oh, I'm gonna spite them by doing this. Fubo, Hulu. They're all owned by the same. They're all owned by. It doesn't even matter what I do anymore. They're all owned by the same. It's just crap. It's all crap. I did see. It is interesting to see that X is trying to like do more live things. So they're going to have College Game Day on there.
Oh, for real?
Maybe you could see X kind of float their way into this too, where maybe they start having games and start streaming games. I don't know. At this point, I don't care. If that gets me games more affordable and stuff like that, I'm all in for it.
Yeah,
so like,
man.
if Elon can pull that thing off and get us some games that we can watch for a cheaper price, all hats off to you, man. Like, go and do it for us. It is crazy the amount of, and I do it because I have to, but it's crazy the amount of subscriptions you have to have just to watch sports.
Yeah, it's you can't just have one.
The odds there's a holding on the first kickoff are like, it's like,
it's -400, bro.
Yeah,
-400.
Like I would put if you're betting on this in Vegas, I'd put the house on it. I just put your
absolutely
the whole
I'll tell you right now. And we're probably have an amazing kick return by Savion or by Keyshawn, and they're gonna call back for holding.
They'll house it. They'll house that thing. They'll house that thing. We'll be like, oh, way to start it. Oh, wait, there's a flag.
There's a flag. Thanks.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, everybody. Hey, Trey, as always, thank you for everything, bro. You're the best, man. Tell them where they can find you.
You can find me, Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. Find me across all social media platforms right there, Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. You can also find the radio show. Ummer stops by on the radio show. We're on Wednesdays right now from 5 to 7. And then starting in December, we're going to move to Saturdays too. So we're going to have Wednesdays and Saturdays. Saturdays just be 10 to 11 for now because games happen and everything like that. But right now, just on Wednesdays, 5 to 7. There you can find the podcast, Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. But follow the Facebook page, all that. I always have pictures of food and random stuff that I'm doing. So make sure you guys check that out too. Give me a follow. Like, subscribe, follow. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow here too. Because following, subscribing, that's the big thing for us. Because it lets us know we're doing a good job.
Absolutely. As always, you guys want to find me. I'm AMAR3455 on Twitter. Coast to Coast Packers on Twitch, on Kick, on Instagram, on TikTok, whole 9 yards. We'll be back again next week, and I'm going to tell you right now, because we're off on Tuesday, so if the Packers win and if Trake's up that late, we might do a show. If they lose, and me and him will probably be kind of inebriated, and we maybe try to do a show for like 30 minutes just to cry or to revel in the victory. We'll see how it goes. We keep talking about it. We need to do a post-game show. We will
eventually. We'll get a post game.
We'll get to it.
We're working out the kinks. We're working out the kinks right now.
Absolutely.
There's just life gets in the way. You just got too much going on, and plus like bedtime and stuff like that. Yeah. My bedtime comes in a certain time there. That's what they need to make these games at better times too.
You would think so, man.
Why does a Monday night game have to kick off at?
Think about West Coast. Like, their games start at 10 o'clock.
Like
7 o'clock, they're done.
Why can't the games like kick off at like 6? I like 6.
I'm okay with that.
6 o'clock solid. I can roll with that across the board. But like on a Monday night, I don't need to be like staying up till 10:30, 11 o'clock just to watch the end of a football game. Especially when I watched that game tie against Dallas.
Oh,
that was like 11 o'clock. I had to go to work the next day.
Lucky,
I had to go to work.
It was 12:45 for me here, and I started to go home. I was at a bar.
Ummer's got it worse. Well, I don't know if he's got it worse. He's telling me he was at a bar, so I don't know
exactly right.
Worse than I do, but I mean, he was out. It's his choice, right? It's his choice.
It was a choice. It was a choice. I agree. It was a bad choice, but it was a choice. So yeah. But everybody, you guys have a great night. Have a great weekend. Go Pack, go! Looking forward to Monday night game, and we'll see you guys again on Monday.
See ya.
All right, take care, everyone.